The 6 lubrication rights. Many companies fail to realize the importance of lubrication and the application of its 6 basic rights in achieving world-class machinery reliability. Lubrication has a direct effect on equipment reliability. We know from statistics that if you've got a good lubrication strategy, you'll reduce the amount of bearings you use. Because it will reduce wear. You'll use less bearings and that's less cost. But not so much less bearings, but more uptime. More uptime means less maintenance costs, more profit on the bottom line. You'll reduce the amount of lube you consume. Again, reduction in cost and a reduction in the amount of time. Because you don't need to replace an oil that is running in a good condition. The end result is that you'll improve your business results. It really comes down to the 6 lubrication rights. We just have to make sure that we get the right lube, at the right time, in the right amount, in the right way, in the right condition, and kept in the right condition. If we can do those 6 rights to every application, we will achieve the point of ultimate life or an improvement in life, and reduction of wear. In summary, poor lubrication can cause bearing damage. Bearings are the rotating machine center. So if the lubrication works reliably, the bearings will work reliably. The plant and equipment reliability improve. End result: better operating bottom line results. Let's look at lubrication. We will start with the 6 lubes. The right lube. The 2 major classes of lubricants are oil and grease. The selection of the type is based on the application. Greases are used extensively in the lubrication of small bearings. As rule of thumb, use oil where possible, because it can be cooled and filtered. This is not possible for many applications where grease is the better choice. There are many different lubes to select from. They are different viscosities. They have different additives. There are different brands. They're not all compatible, and if you mix them, often you'll cause chemical damage and reduce their lubrication properties. In bottom line, we don't want to mix the lube, so we have to have the right lube. The right time. The frequency of changing lubricants depends upon the type of system and size of the reservoir. Initial guidance can be obtained from the OEM and should be adjusted based on the environmental conditions. Oil and grease need to be replenished, but we might forget. There might be a shutdown or an outage, and this can interfere with our schedule, so we may miss a schedule. We may over or under lubricate if we're not measuring the frequency of how often we add the lube and so forth as application driven. What we don't want to do is to miss a schedule, or the right schedule. The right quantity. More is not better. Too much lubricant in a system can be as destructive as not enough, as evidenced by the over-greasing of electric motors, which is a major failure mode. Speed, load and temperature define the quantities we need. We don't want to over-lube, because we know that will generate heat. We don't want to under-lube, because we know that that can cause starvation. Starvation has an effect on the amount of lubrication film thickness. Do we measure how much we put in? If not, should we be thinking of it? Do we really know how much grease one shot of a grease gun is adding to the bearing? Do we know how many shots or how many ounces or grams we need to add to that particular bearing at what time? In other words, we need to keep the machines fed, and fed correctly. The right way. Oil and grease need to be dispensed. We don't want to spill anything, because that causes problems. We don't want the oil to be contaminated. That's the purpose of OilSafe. To eliminate that, still today, many people use open jugs, buckets, same funnels for different oils. These are contamination problems. The quantities need to be measured, and we need to make sure that the environment is protected. In other words, we have to satisfy the environment and we have to satisfy the machines. The right condition. Dirty or contaminated lube causes wear and damage. That we've seen with the ISO 4406 example and Dr. McPherson's example. We want to use only clean oil. We want to clean it in the storeroom, because new oil is not clean, and the new oil can get contaminated within the lube room. Unclean containers pass on dirt. It is really a clinical process. We only want to use clean lubricants. Maintained right. Oil in the machine can become contaminated. That means poor quality air breathers. Every time a hydraulic system works, the oil level goes up and down in the cylinder, and hence it draws in air, and pushes air out. If the air is contaminated, you are contaminating the oil. So we have got to have good air breathers. We don't want operational contamination, which also can occur oxidation. We need to be monitoring and filtering the machine to get cleaned up dirty oil. In other words, we need to keep the lubes clean. Establishing a world-class lubrication program through application of the 6 lubrication rights will pay dividends. In the long run, enhanced equipment reliability will result in major bottom-line savings. The first step is to recognize and promote the importance of a well-designed lubrication. The next step, the most difficult one, is to effectively implement that program.